This right here is exactly how you can add 5.4K in monthly recurring revenue to your content agency in the next 7 days. And I didn't just come up with this number out of nowhere. I literally just helped Mohammed, another content agency owner, with this last week, and we closed 5.4K monthly recurring revenue in a single week. He had 3 clients he closed. He closed one at $2,200 a month, one at $1,500 a month, and another one at $1,700 a month. And I know that he closed another guy at $1,500 a month right before that. So he technically scaled from 0 to 7K in monthly recurring revenue in literally no time. So what I want to do is I want to break down exactly how he did it so you can just do the same thing for yourself, because it's really not that complicated. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is find your ideal leads. They should be high quality. And when I say high quality, I mean people in your niche that you would genuinely like to work with. And the 3 ways to find them is by either sourcing them manually, scraping them, or hiring other people to source them for you. Now, sourcing manually is what I would first start out with because it is the most time consuming, but it also gives you the best lead quality by far because you handpick everybody you want to reach out to. And at the beginning, you should have a little more time on your hands, so you shouldn't be the biggest problem. Now, scraping is a little bit faster, but you also don't get the best results and you have to spend some time cleaning up the list. So this is not my favorite, but if it works well for your niche, if you find a really good lead source to scrape and you can do this, then go ahead and do it. We use different tools like Roman or Outscraper or ParseUp or Octoparse to scrape different platforms. And then third way I like the most is hiring somebody else to do this for you. Now you could just hire a lead gen guy off Upwork, but what I like to do the most is just hire a VA who sources leads for you manually, because that means the quality is still incredibly high. It's still cheap because VAs are not really expensive and you're just not doing this yourself. Somebody else is spending a lot of time, the quality is high, but none of your time is really taken up. So once you find these high quality leads, once you have a good collection of people you would like to really work with and you think you can help them, you need to just collect their emails, their IG, and any other active socials that they currently have. Just collect them, put them all into a sheet. Then what you want to do is create something that is valuable for them, like actually and genuinely valuable, something that they probably do not know. Something that you do not see doing them right now. Now, one thing specifically I like to do the most to give them value is a funnel breakdown, because a funnel is a thing that actually turns attention into revenue. So if you see somebody is missing opportunities or somebody is not implementing a funnel at all, and you can give them the idea to implement one, they will make more money. So this is super valuable for them. So depending on your niche and depending on the platform, you can run them through a whole funnel and use them as your specific example. So it's actually directed towards them and not just a general funnel. And yeah, just break it down. So first, they can get attention with content. If they're not doing this yet, then tell them to do this. Then tell them to collect attention. They can do that with followers, with mails, and so many other things. But if they're not actively doing that right now, then tell them to do that and explain how they can do that efficiently. And then they have to nurture the attention by giving value. Now, there's a shit ton of ways to do that, but you can just do it with organic content and YouTube videos. And then they need to qualify the attention. So they can do that by asking questions inside of a Calendly form, for example, or by asking questions inside of the DM in a conversation. And then they need to convert that attention either through calls or even just a chat or even just a landing page where somebody can buy immediately. That really depends on the niche and who exactly you're reaching out to. But if you thoroughly break this down to somebody, use them as an example and be pretty specific about the things that they need to do, and they can actually, after seeing this, after you giving it to them, implement this really without your help, and they'll be like, wow, that's amazing, super valuable. Well, that is good. So that should be the goal. Because most people make the mistake of just going onto their Instagram, going onto their YouTube and saying, look, I love what you're doing, but here the thumbnails could be better, the titles could be better, or you should post more content, or like they're just nitpicking like specific shit that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, bro. So I would rather give them a good overview, a really good idea of what they really have to do specifically to generate more revenue, than just nitpick some titles or some thumbnails or like some editing that could be done better. So the next thing you need to do is you need to give that value to them in a personalized video. When I talk about personalized videos, obviously I mean looms. And inside of the loom, look, the most important thing is that you have a genuine delivery. You need to be interesting. You need to not sell. Okay, do not sell at all. Just give them all this value and do not ask for much in return. Then also make sure that you're likable. Maybe make a joke. If you can make them laugh in the loom, you got it. And also make clear that you're there to help, so they're not really that closed off when seeing a video and they just think, okay, somebody's trying to sell me something. Just think about the loom like like public speaking. Okay, I'm sure you've spoken in front of a classroom, you've spoken in front of a little bit of a larger audience already, right? Or at least you have seen somebody else speak. And now look, there are certain people, they could be telling me Victoria's Secret, they could be telling me about the Krabby Patty formula. I still would be sleeping like a minute or two in, because it's just so boring how they talk. And you do not want to be this guy inside a Loom, because you could be delivering the most valuable shit ever and they still click off like a minute or two in the video. So sharpen your talking skills. It will not only serve you in Looms, but just generally so much in life and sales and convincing other people, talking and making sure people are listening to you. Play around with your tone. Make sure you're speaking fast or slower depending on what you're saying. Make sure you're emphasizing certain things. And this will come over time, but if you just give it more attention, it will come faster. Hope it makes sense. But if you're just as boring as a brick talking inside a Loom, nobody will listen to you. Okay, so make sure you are actually interesting. Make sure you're charismatic inside a Loom. I cannot emphasize how important this is. Okay, so you create this Loom going over a funnel breakdown or something else that's actually valuable for your clients. Come across genuine, you're interesting, you're charismatic, you're not selling, you're just giving him value here. And also come across as likable, as someone who they would actually enjoy having a conversation with. What you do then is you send this video over to them, to their email, and then all of the other socials that you collected to. Because when you put so much effort, and it's probably like 5 minutes, but when you put so much effort into creating the video for somebody, you want them to see it. Okay, you really want them to see it. So send it over their email, make sure to blast them with follow-ups afterwards so they actually see it. And then send it over any other social that you have from them where they're active as well. Instagram, Twitter, I don't care. And then once these people watch it, they will come back to you and they will probably be curious to learn more, since you can have a breakdown video instead of a 5 minutes or 4 minutes video, whatever. But obviously you're not going to be able to go into all of the specifics. So they're now going to have questions about specific parts of this, maybe even a question about if you could help them with this or how you could help them with this. And so now it's important to keep them curious and still keep leading with value and then book them in. And I explain what this actually means. Well, look, sometimes you're gonna get responses like my man Christy here, where they literally just tell you, send me your calendar link, thank you for the video, and it's just easy to book him in. And sometimes several people who watch the video are curious and ask specific questions, like this guy right here. He's saying, I really appreciate you reaching out. So he's thanking him for the video, amazing outreach. I've had a few other people approach me on this as well. Guess why this guy responded? Because the other people didn't use the video. So if I may ask a few questions, what platform would you be using to build and sell a guitar course on? And what would your payer cut be? So he's asking questions about how specifically he would do this, and then also about payment terms when it comes to working together. So now you got him curious. And what I told my man Jean-Boy to answer to this is just recording another Loom and then explaining what platform he would use to sell the stuff, but that he would also like to go over this in a bit more detail, since there are some intricacies to this that he has to be aware of. So people like to explain this in way more detail, and that if this guy is up for it, he could just if he's up for a chat, they could just talk sometime later this week. Super chill way of pitching the call. Also making sure that you're still giving value, that you're recording a video, they see that you're putting a shit ton of effort into this, and that you are somebody who actually knows what he's doing. And then you don't mention the pay cut, you just say, and we can talk about the payment stuff on that call then and there as well. And then you got them curious. You didn't really get the curiosity, like you still keep them curious by saying, by giving a little bit of value, but not everything. So there's some intricacies to this though. I'd like to explain it in a bit more detail. If you want, we could chat sometime later this week. So keep leading with value, but still keep them curious so they actually want to hop on a call. And then from there, you just book them in. And then your calendar would start to look somewhat like this. And then your Stripe dashboard would start to look somewhat like this in a matter of time. And just to break my man Mohammed's numbers down as well. So for him, he sent about 75 videos. He sent 75 Looms. And then he booked 21 calls. He told me, So he told me that from those 21 calls he booked with 75 Looms, only 13 showed, which is not good. So we're working on that now. So he probably could have closed even more than what he did. But I realized that my mind does not have a pre-call sequence or a reminder set up. So we're doing that now to make sure more people show up to call. And he actually closes way more. But from those 13, the close rate wasn't that great either. So he closed 3 clients from that. And those were the 3 clients that I just showed you right here, where he had 5.4K in monthly recurring revenue. So if he would have just had a pre-call sequence and some reminders to have a better show rate, and then would be a little bit better at sales, he could have closed like 2-3 more people, and he could have also had a 10K a month with these 24 calls. Well, but I hope this makes sense. This is pretty much all he did. This is pretty much all you need to do. Literally every step. Find really good leads, collect their info, create something that's genuinely valuable for them, and then package that into a video where you are actually coming across as charismatic and somebody who they would want to talk with. Send it over to the email and then all other platforms. Keep them curious, lead with value, make your calendar look like this, make your Stripe dashboard look like this. That is it. Thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, just message me on Instagram in the description below. Apart from that though, take care. See you in the next